Hello, it's Jenny Jan the Plant Friend. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than what I normally film. This is my end of the year video where I just want to take a look back. I call this video This Time in Planty History. And I just want to talk about, reflect back on my journey thus far and the things that have happened and where I'm going, where I want to go. And so let's just get started with this video. So first of all, I just want to welcome all you to my channel. If this is your first time, please like, subscribe, comment at the bottom. Also, those subscribers that have been with me for this short journey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for always coming back and watching these videos and commenting. I plan to do more in the upcoming year, but we'll get to that in a minute. I have some notes here, so you'll see me look down from time to time. I want to kind of stay on task, if you will. So let's just go back to December of the last year. We're actually going to, I just want to talk about how I settled into my new pandemic hobby, I called it. Initially, when I started out, I thought I would just collect a few plants and just really, but I dove straight in. So by the end of 2020, I had close to 100 plants. And a little bit about my journey is that when I started, I had about 10 plants before I started collecting houseplants. I've always had plants around me. My mom has always had plants, and I helped her with her plants. And so I loved houseplants, but I wasn't a collector. There's a difference, and I figured that I have that understanding now. So I had about 10 plants. Let's say 10 or 12 plants. By the end of 2020, I had more than 100 plants. And I was steadily climbing because I was watching YouTube videos and I was getting more involved in the plant community and learning more about the plants that I liked, or the different genuses and things like that. And so so then it just continued to climb. And so I learned sometime last year about LECA, semi-hydroponics, and decided that I wanted to try that medium. So I tried that. And so by December of last year, more than 80% of my plants were in LECA and only 20% was in soil. And that was the larger plants I pretty much left in soil, or if it was a plant that I had purchased before and struggled with, I didn't want to transplant that one or transfer that one over to LECA, so I would just leave it in soil. But so that LECA journey has certainly taught me some things, and I've learned quite a bit. I experienced making moss poles and trellises and things for my plants, and decided that I'll leave that to the professionals. And not that I can't do it, it's just that I like theirs better, and so I decided I would do that. The other thing that I did earlier this year also was I was always having these buckets to collect rainwater for my plants, because I think we have pretty decent water here. I live in Georgia, and I think we have pretty decent water, but I just I heard rainwater was good for the plants, so I decided that I would collect rainwater for my plants. And so my husband bought me these two huge 50-gallon drums or barrels, and I put together two rain, and I'll try and insert a picture on the screen or a little short video of my doing that earlier this year. It was a lot of fun, and I think my plants like the rainwater, and I've been continuing with that, and so that's been a good thing. The other thing, since I've really been collecting plants, I've learned a lot about humidity and light and what the different plants need, and I would research and read, and I was never that into plants. I just could grow a few plants and that was fine. And people say, you have a green thumb, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure they're brown, but it's cute. But I just knew that if I was going to do this thing, and this is so typical of me, when I get into something, I get all in. And so I wanted to research it and I wanted to know, and I'm still learning. I haven't arrived or know everything about house plants, but I'm doing a lot better. And so I did start the YouTube channel last year, but I wasn't doing very much with it and it wasn't growing. And then I was kind of told that I needed to really put some content out there. So I started doing at least shooting a video a week, at least once a week. I'd like to up that to twice a week in the new year, but don't hold me to that yet. And so, but if I'm able to, I will do that because I really want to build the channel. Not so much to have the numbers, but just to really be taken serious in the plant community. I think the more subscribers you have and you build up your channel, that seems to me. And so by mid-year, I felt pretty settled into my plant collecting. I had decided that there were certain genuses that I preferred in my space. I don't have a lot of windows in my home. I have in the plant studio, the room that we're actually in now, the window that you see guys always see behind me is it's an east facing window. I think, let me see. I think it's east. I always forget. I think that's an east-facing window, and then so it has two east-facing windows, and that's it in this room, and it's a pretty decent-sized room for only two windows. And we've considered cutting in some windows for me. That's a process that we're still talking about. My husband and I are still working that out, but. So I have lots of grow lights in the plant studio. I've learned the different grow lights that I like. And even if I bought grow lights and I didn't particularly like them, I'm still using them. I'm getting better with my grow lights. Like I'm investing more because I'm investing more in my plants. And so I want to invest more in the grow lights. And then, and so I also, by mid-year, around June, July, somewhere like that, I bought my first IKEA greenhouse cabinet. Fell in love and have since bought two more. So what I did was I bought the Milsbo Tall, I think that's what they call it, and loved it. Have a lot of humidity loving plants in the cabinet, and they're doing very well. And I've had some challenges, and I'm still, the thing about the Milsbo, or to me about the greenhouse cabinet, you're constantly renovating it or up changing it, or as the plants grow or outgrow that space, then you have to do different things. And so but I'm still loving it. I have no complaints about the IKEA cabinets. And so I have in the plant studio, I have the Milsbo Tall White, and in the living room, because it's more earth tony colors, I have the Milsbo Black, and then I also have a Detolf. And you've probably seen this in my videos. I have Detolf, however you say that, in the kitchen area, actually the dining room area, and that one has turned into my Hoya cabinet because I'm only putting Hoyas in there. I do have two plants right now that are not Hoyas that are in there, but they're just there. And so that really took off. I really got excited about that, but I had to put a pin in it because I was going crazy because I could have had an IKEA cabinet in every room, actually. So I decided that 3 was enough and that I would just focus on shelving and grow lights. And so so that was interesting for this year. And then by the last quarter of the year, actually by mid-year, I had collected quite a few rare plants. And what I can't come to terms with rare plants are plants that are not so much rare as it is that they're harder to find in the big box stores. And some of them are considered rare, but that's rare, right? But I decided that I prefer Hoyas and philodendrons, and I have quite a few now. I have a wish list that I have been revising constantly, and I still have a wish list. I mean, there's still so many more plants. And so then I said, yeah, you're really a collector now. But when I realized that I could, the ones that don't hurt my feelings because they didn't die, or because I couldn't overwater them, or because I had learned about Hoyas and how to grow Hoyas and the different Hoyas, because some Hoyas have thicker roots than others, and that makes a difference. And so I just continue to, so I still go out to big box stores, and I'm going to start filming more of that. But I order a lot online, a lot of plants online. And so, but those are my two plants. And so I don't know how many I have of each. I tried my hand at anthuriums, and I still have at least 4 surviving, but they are a tough genus, if you will, to care for. And so, you know, if you're going to go with anthuriums, you want to make sure that, you know, you go in slow, because I went in kind of heavy. And the one that it still has 1 leaf, so it's not completely gone. That's my crystallinum, and I'll try and put a picture. It's definitely in the intro, but I was so excited. It was so beautiful when it came, and it's down to 1 leaf. But I've heard that everyone struggles with the anthurium. So when I hear that, then it makes me feel like, okay, well then you know, you're not a lost cause. But I'm not giving up on anthuriums. I'm just not buying as many. I love the variegated plants. My husband did buy me a Thai constellation for my birthday, and so it's currently the most expensive plant in my collection. And I watch it like a hawk. And I've had root rot twice, and that journey, that's a whole journey by itself, a video by itself. I just need to do a whole video on the Thai constellation, and I'm sure I will. I've been collecting evidence or parts of the video that things that I would put into the video each time I would make a change. And it's currently, I'm looking at it now, but it's in the IKEA greenhouse cabinet still. It's in pond, and I see new roots coming, so I'm hopeful. But yeah, so I those are the plants that I've been collecting, but I don't want to make the video very long, so let me look back at my notes here. So I have double the number of plants that I started with. I think I quit counting sometime back. I think I'm over 200 now. And that may sound like a lot to some and not a lot to others, but to each his own, you know. I think 200 is a lot, and because it's a lot to care for plants, and somehow something always goes neglected, because it's hard to have a watering day. And so I try and just, because I'm in leca and pond. Oh, I didn't mention that. I did start recently, probably around September or so, maybe August, September. I decided to also add Lechuza pond into my medium to grow plants in. And so I don't have a whole lot of plants. I want to say maybe 10% of my plants are in pond. I'm loving the pond, but I'm finding that I'm having to up pot quite a bit, because some plants don't like their roots in water, and they grow down so fast in the pond. So, but I've been doing this pond leca mix thing, and I'm really liking that. I put leca in the bottom, and so that sort of helps the roots from just, I mean, they grow through the leca, but not as fast. And so, but I'm loving that. I'm using a lot of self-watering pots in my plants. Initially, when I started out, I wanted all white pots. I think I had to be white, and I'm over that. And now I'm just, I like odd planters, like I'm looking at a pig. I have a swan over there. I have some with faces on them. I have, you know, but I have a lot of self-watering pots that I'm growing my plants in, and they're doing well. And so I'm ending the year 200 plus plants, and feeling pretty good about the journey, understanding that some plants do die, and so I don't beat myself up about that as much. But I, let's see, what else did I do this past year? I have everything staked up and on moss posts. Propagations. So I really got into propagating last year, but this year I'm propagating more rare plants, which are more expensive plants. That's the other thing. You know, sometimes when you start out, you have a goal or a budget for your plants and you say, I'm not going to go over this, and I still have a budget, but what I do is I have a certain amount that after I've spent that amount for the year, for the month, I say, okay, that's it. I can't have any more plants until next month, and then I'm counting the days down because I've already discovered another one that I want. But I'm trying to use wisdom in that, and not just buy everything that I want. But there are some on the wish list that I'm just kind of slowly getting, but they're a little more expensive, and so if I have to wait a month to get the next expensive plant, even though it costs more that way because sometimes you're paying extra for shipping, you got to do what you got to do. Everybody has to do what's comfortable for their budget and their household. And so my husband, around my birthday, when he bought the plant for me, he sort of got into plants, and I did a video about the ones that he purchased, and he had to learn a couple things along the way about cuttings, and when he sees a whole plant and then he purchased that, he would think he was getting that plant, but if he didn't read it and it said cutting, he would. And so that was interesting. But so I'm like, honey, just when you want to do, if you want to do something, just call me before you hit the order. No, and so he's been doing better with that. So I'm not having as many casualties. I do have a few along the way, but I am propagating, of course, and I have the original greenhouse where I do a lot of rehabbing my plants in. It's also in the plant studio currently. It was on the sun porch that's on the front, and but it's not. It's currently, because of the winter, I had to move it inside because it's not insulated. That porch is not insulated. I had to move in all of my cacti and all of the plants that were out there. And so the goal is not to buy more plants for the sun porch. It's to take those original plants back out to the sun porch in the spring. Yeah, we'll see about that, because that was the plan last year and I didn't do that. But this year I'm really planning to do that because I'll have some other plants coming in, and so I need to make room for them. So I'll take the original plants from the sunroom back out to the sunroom. And so let's just take a look ahead. I anticipate growing more as my plants, as I learn from my plants. I want to get into trades. I have not done any of that. I've never traded, and they have pop-ups all the time here in Georgia. Georgia Plant Trades. I can't remember her name, but I love her. Great personality. Always talking about, always having these plant trades. And so my goal is to go to some of these plant trades this year, as long as COVID behaves. And so I'm currently propagating plants for the trade. So that's a plus already, because last year I didn't do this. So I have about, I have like nice plants, like not just your run-of-the-mill plants. I'm propagating a Syngonium, Syngonium chia pens, a Syngonium alba. I'm propagating a Standeliana, a Burley Marks Fantasy. What else am I? Haven't gotten to the Thai constellation. I'm just really trying to get this girl to survive right now, so I'm not there yet. But possibly a Gloriosum. So I want to, when I go to the plant trade, I want people to take me serious, so I want to come with some serious things. And so I'm really excited about that. I have a little mini greenhouse that I purchased to do some wet stick propagations in, so I can have a little more structure, and I have it rested on a heat mat. And matter of fact, I'm going to grab that really quickly. And so this is my little mini greenhouse that's resting. And so it's currently not full because I'm waiting on some cups to come in that I can put inside that will fit, because I didn't have anything that would fit inside of it other than that little tray there. And so I'm able to watch them closely. And I love this little greenhouse because it has like a little, you can slide these openings to let some air circulate inside there. And again, I have this resting on a heat mat. And so I'm really, I'm hoping these wet sticks take off, and then, and then I'll just continue to grow plants from there. But so I'm planning to do more trades. I'm planning to do more online trades as well as soon as I can get connected. I am working on that. I want to meet more planty people in my community, in my area. in Georgia or in the Atlanta area. And so that I can you find out about more information in the plant community when you meet people in the community. So I'm hoping to do that. And then also my social media, I want to increase the number of videos, and I mentioned that earlier, that I would do. I want to increase that. I also on Instagram, I want to be able to connect more with my followers on Instagram and put out more content. I've been doing a lot of reels and posting pictures every day for that. So I've definitely grown, and so I don't want to make this video very long, so I'm going to just kind of end it with that. But I want to say Happy New Year to you guys. Be safe, use wisdom, be smart, and just continue to grow as your plant grows. If you're not a plant collector, maybe you'll become one after watching this video or maybe other videos. But again, this time in planting history, we have definitely grown as our plants have grown. So I'll end it there, but I will see you guys in the next one, and be safe. Like, subscribe, comment at the bottom. Let me know about your journey. Can you see where you've made some major changes since last year, or does your space look different from this time to last year? Comment at the bottom, and please give it a thumbs up. At least if you watch the video, even if you don't make it to the end. If you made it to the end, that's wonderful. But if you don't, just like the video, because it certainly helps me out, and I appreciate that. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.